I can't resist. If there's ever a reason for me to talk about Doc Rivers, I'm going to do it. I'm just that petty. But first, like the real news, Damian Lillard, there was a blood clot discovered in his leg. Obviously, we hope he's
Scary.
okay.
Yeah.
That takes precedent. That's really scary, but he's out indefinitely. Right now, as we are recording this, the Bucks are in fifth. They're 4-6 in their last 10. What is the most realistic point of view for the Milwaukee Bucks without Damian Lillard going into the postseason?
I mean, they don't have any offense now, so it all revolves around Giannis. They traded away Middleton, so they have what? They have Kuzma and Giannis now, and that's pretty much it, and a bunch of other guys. It all revolves around Giannis. They can't go very far without him. It is my humble opinion. It's so funny that Doc Rivers always finds a way to be back in the news, even when his team is floundering. Yeah, I saw.
Did you hear?
Yeah, I saw it. Go ahead.
So Doc Rivers was interviewed over the last 7 years, and basically it was talked about how he has blown the most 3-1 series leads in history of the NBA in postseason. And Doc said, and I'm paraphrasing here, he said, I think I take too much heat for losing 3-1 series, and I don't get enough credit for winning the 3 games. Bobby, please. You've been a defender of Doc Rivers. Defend that.
I can't defend that. Because I love Doc. I loved his raspy voice ramblings when he was on the Celtics. I loved him sticking up for his guys because that's what he does. He's a player's coach. He's always been a player's coach, and he's had success doing that. And his players love him for it. The fans love him for it. He gives great fucking interviews. I love when he joins Bill Simmons. But what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like for real? Like, what is he talking about? Because it doesn't matter if he's been saying this too since the beginning. Because he thought he should have got credit for the Orlando series back in the day, where he almost upset the Bulls, and they didn't. And he thought he should have got credit for that back in the day. So he's been saying this for a long, long time. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Can you?
Well, there is a difference between taking a team that has no business being in the finals or in the Eastern Conference Finals or even the semifinals and then pushing to a game 7. Now, if you're up 3-1, you choke and you lose that series, that still sucks. But there's a difference between that and doing it with just a list of players that include Joel Embiid, James Harden, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul. Was Kawhi in LA with him? No, I don't think he was. So I won't hurt him for that. But he left here. Again, it always comes back to this for me, right? He left the Boston Celtics after the big 3 were traded. Or the remnants of the big 3 were traded because he did not want to be part of a rebuild. He then went to LA, where he was the head coach, the manager of basketball operations. He got to pick all the players, right? He brought his son out there, had a great time. He had everybody. And he still could never get further than the Boston Celtics did before they won a championship. He had all the All-Stars. And then he went to Philly. Embiid, Harden. Say what you want about Joel Embiid. I have a lot of bad things to say. When he plays, he's one of the best. I mean, let's just say it. He is. But how many times this guy, this comment is so tone deaf. Like that's the most shocking thing, because I think a lot of the times Doc Rivers in the media, the reason why he's loved is because he doesn't do shit like that. He doesn't appear to be tone deaf or blind. That comment, though, is, well, how come you never talk about the 3 games that I won instead of the 4 games that I lost after being up 3-1? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind? You've won 1 championship. It took 3 Hall of Famers to do it. Get over yourself, dude. Get the fuck over yourself.
You've always been such a Doc hater. It's so funny to me.
Okay, now you say that, and you're right. But let's just find find one thing that I said that wasn't true.
No, it is true. Now that it comes down to it, I mean, it is true. Doc Rivers is a great coach. Don't get me wrong. He leads teams to the playoffs year in and year out. And every time he takes over,
3-1 series leads too, Bobby. That's the point of this conversation. He does. He gets them there. He gets them up 3-1, and then what happens?
And then they lose. I don't know. I don't know. It is very tone deaf, and I can't believe he actually said that again, because it's not the first time he's done it. It's not the first time.
But I think it's the loudest, right? Like it is definitely one of the most egregious things that he's ever said.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just don't understand how he just doesn't get how it's like he has a team with one of the greatest players on the planet. And he still can't.
Yeah.
He's again, and he still can't do it. So we'll see.
Right. Well, he needs 3 of them, but. And by the way, most coaches do. That's not. I know that it comes off as like, oh, I'm holding Doc Rivers to unrealistic expectations. I would argue that you can't really point to a head coach that has won without 3 perennial All-Stars, except the coach of the Denver Nuggets. But you have a cheat card.
It's because you have Jokic. Yeah. And they did have
right,
Jamal. They
exactly.
did have Jamal Murray too. So Jamal Murray was an All-Star.
I don't think that's true. I don't think Jamal Murray's been an All-Star game.
Yeah, he has. Let's pick that up.
Hold on. Has Jamal? This is a little peek behind the curtain here, but I don't think he has. No, he's never. I don't think he has.
Wow. Jamal Murray's pretty good too.